Welcome back. Hello, everyone, and happy fall. To all the ball players out there, I hope you had a great fall season and, like me, are getting ready the rest you need for to get ready for high school tryouts or spring ball. I'm Grayson Knight, and this is Baseball Podcasts Are Fun. Lights, camera, action. Alex Bentley has played a lot of roles on and off the baseball diamond, from international player to firefighter in Savannah. He's done it all. But none of those roles may be as meaningful to him as creator, writer, and producer of his passion project On Deck, which we'll get into today. So the script is in, rehearsals are done. Now let's roll on today's interview. Thanks for being here, Alex. How are you?
Good intro, bud. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Mm,
I like this. I like that you do this. Baseball
thank,
is fun.
thank
It's
you.
supposed to be fun.
I'm super excited to speak with you today. I've been waiting for this for a while, but obviously we're both super busy. So before all that, you were at the Tyson Paul fight last week, right?
Yeah, if you call it that, yeah.
So how was that in your opinion? And do you think it was scripted?
Here's all I'll say. If you felt upset or skeptical about anything you saw on Netflix, which I then came home and rewatched, I will say on Netflix, those first two rounds looked kind of fun and enjoyable and a little bit of like what we might expect. They weren't quite as exciting in person. They those angles on the TV broadcasts have a way of making it look more physical than it was.
Mm-hmm.
In those first two rounds, and then especially in the next six rounds, the punches that you see them throwing on Netflix where they miss, I'm telling you in person, they're missing these punches by 2 feet. Like they weren't even close. There were times where Tyson had windows to hit him unguarded and didn't take him. It was just very, very weird. And there was some of that vicious ferocity out of Mike Tyson that we all know and love in his fight 4 years ago. So, like, we've seen him spar in the last couple months with 10 times the viciousness he had in the fight. So people can say, yeah, he's 58, bro. You don't know how tiring it is. He's winded. After two rounds, he was gassed. His legs were out. I get all that. But that wasn't Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
So happy for him.
I
Happy he
totally
got his
agree.
bag. Not sure about how scripted it was, but I found it very weird that he, spent more time biting his glove than he did throwing punches. It was
Mm-hmm.
weird. It was just
I completely agree. It was pretty sad to watch that. Uh,
yep, a
I
good way to
wish it
put it.
was I wish it was as exciting as the fight before with the two female boxers. That was a really good
Yeah,
fight. I was
Solano
watching
kicked
on
her
Netflix.
ass. The whole stadium was booing when they announced that she lost that. We couldn't agree with it or believe it. Same as the Netflix broadcasters. That was
Hmm.
a great fight. The fight before it was, entertaining, but yeah, we kind of got deked. What the saddest part is that you had an entire stadium there to see Mike Tyson, not Jake Paul, and they were just ready to erupt the entire time. Like he landed one jab, like one left jab that sent Paul back 2 feet, and the stadium went crazy. So it's just sad that you could have still like thrown the fight and still had a few moments of excitement with a couple big punches, but there was like nothing. It was worst case scenario. It was the most boring fight you could have.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't great in my opinion.
It was sad.
Yeah.
Right. It was sad.
So, based on what I've learned about you, you've had a pretty interesting baseball journey so far, but it's even more than that. In fact, you're also an actor, writer, and producer. But first, we need your origin story. So, can you tell us about growing up in San Diego and the Middle East and how baseball was a part of those things?
Sure, bud. Appreciate you. Like most kids growing up, I wanted to play in the big leagues. I grew up in San Diego. I wanted to be a Padre. Despite that, I was a big Barry Bonds fan. Like all the boppers back then, I wanted to wear 25, number 25, always have. And I lived in LA for a year. My mom got religious and moved back to the Middle East and took me with her. So I moved there for 4 years. I was playing catch with tires up against fences with my only ball, playing a game a week if I was lucky. It wasn't a good baseball environment, but the whole culture over there toughened me up. And then I came back and went to high school in Reno, Nevada, McQueen, actually. I'm wearing that hoodie today. And we had a good state run. Joey Gallo knocked us out in the state championship with a nuke that still hasn't landed. And after that, played my JUCO ball in San Diego, NAIA ball in San Diego. And I was kind of sick of college. I had 2 more years of eligibility, but I had just had enough. I knew what I wanted to do for business. Yeah, there it is. Let it rock. I love the Padres hats. They've become so popular since the City Connect and the Tatis era. We'll get to it in a minute. But yeah, I went to the college route in San Diego. I knew what I wanted to do for business, having done film and television in college and starting a video production company in my early 20s, like right as I started college, and kind of did film school, extension classes, all sorts of online courses, but immersed myself as a storyteller and as a filmmaker. And there's videography where you can be a content creator and do videos and freelance and corporate and weddings and music videos. And then there's film and television. And they're two separate paths. And I kind of went down both. And I still do wedding films and I still edit. I'm a media guy, I'm a storyteller, I'm a content creator, but my heart and passion and where I want to make my money in my life and career are the film and TV route. There's nothing like a movie. There's documentaries and TV shows and reality TV and online content and YouTubers, but there's nothing like going to the movie theater, sitting down for 2 hours and watching some cinematic excellence and a quality story. And that's where my real passion lies. So, yeah, I worked in a lot of different fields while juggling a baseball career, but that's kind of where it led to. So, more so actor and producer than anything. But yeah, I did write On Deck, the show that you introduced a bit. It's kind of like Ballers or Entourage of baseball. We got Fernando Tatis Jr. playing himself in it. I got Mookie Betts involved behind the scenes. Also got cameos from Harold Reynolds on MLB Network, Rachel Gardner from MLB Network, Scott Boras, Jenny Finch, Adam Jones, some other younger ball players and stars coming up in the game. So it's a really cool, authentic take on the grind to become a big leaguer, and also a insightful, healthy look into who are we as people without the game, without the sport. A lot of guys get done playing and they have no idea who they are as a person, as a man. Who am I without this game that I've been pursuing every day my whole life? I get that dream. The journey was the destination, but I didn't make it to the big leagues. Now what? Who am I for the next 60 years? That's the tale 90% of us, 99% of us face at some point. And you know what? I've even had guys that are in the big leagues for 3, 5, 7, 13 years. Guys that I grew up watching tell me, like, hey, bro, I just saw a trailer on the news about your show and felt, wow, someone understands. Like, I've been done playing in the big leagues for 4 years and I don't, like, I'm a good dad and I'm a good husband, but other than that, I have no clue who I am. So this is like it's a healthy discussion to have. Who are we without the game? Some guys, you just end up giving t-ball lessons the rest of their lives. Some guys go into real estate and never want to look at baseball again. There's the guys who got close and got hurt. Usually it's a pitcher that have some batting cage they own, but they're still bitter towards the game. They can't go to MLB games. They don't like watching it on TV. So everyone has their journey with baseball, and our own love hate relationship with baseball. At some point, every ball player has his heart broken by the game, but we love her back anyway. So you know that's just part of my story, and
Yeah.
I had a season come to a rough end and turned that pain into what ended up creating On Deck, which we've now, by the way, pivoted into a movie, not a show, and it's going to come out next year.
Is that like breaking news? Because I hadn't heard about that.
Kinda, yeah, I guess you could say we dropped it here.
Spoiler
Right,
alert.
you heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's very an interesting and amazing origin story right there. I mean, you're basically like living the dream, like your dream, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still have goals and aspirations and things I want to achieve and projects I want to bring to life, but and certain financial figures I need to make doing these things. So still a lot of work to go, but yeah, as long as I have good people, baseball, family, and I get to make movies all in my life, I definitely say I'm living the dream. That's usually how I answer. How are you? Living the dream. How about you?
So you probably don't know this, but I've also interviewed former World Series champion and current Team Israel captain Ryan Lavarnway twice. So do you know him, and do you know how I can try out for Team Israel?
I did. I did know that. I don't know him personally. He and I have both played for Team Israel at different times. Um, are you Jewish?
Well, I'm a quarter Jewish, I'm
Are
pretty
you
sure.
loophole Jewish? There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's loopholes for sure.
hmm
That's a good
I'm
question.
I'm the like the I can get in if I apply is what you're trying to
Question.
say.
I'll do a little homework on that and get back to you. You and me can both go try out.
hmm
I did play for the national team, and I would like to do that again before retiring. This next year will more than likely be my last year playing. I've also said that 3 or 4 times already. I'm gonna go play here more year, one more year, one more year. So, but this year really will be the last year. I'd like to play in Japan. This new glow in the dark thing, cosmic baseball, is looking pretty cool. I might look into that. But that's that's about it. So we'll kind of hang the cleats up here. Finally, have a happy ending to that.
hmm
Um,
Have a good send off.
yeah, that's the goal.
So, was it weird being from California but living overseas?
I wouldn't say it was weird. There's definitely some cultural shocks and different elements of life that you got to adjust to. But I was even though I was very little, when you're getting paid to play ball, you put up with quite a bit. So it was cool getting to explore other countries and whatnot. But I wouldn't say it was weird. Definitely makes you miss home at times. There's nothing like that first fish taco or carne asada burrito right when you get back to California and land at LAX, getting back from overseas. But no, it was cool. It was a cool blessing. I may or may not give the indie ball route a go. From what I saw doing it briefly, it wasn't quite the experience I wanted. Um, I've been lucky, man. I've played in certain parts of the world where it was a small stadium, but it felt loud and packed. And I've played in big stadiums that were empty. I've played in stadiums that were full now as well. And um, it's there. I don't know. There's just something about the indie ball route in the U.S. that I didn't want to do it. Credit to all those guys, but I was thinking if I'm already making minimal amount of money and I'm not making the big leagues, why not go see the world? And that was kind of my thought process. So if you find the right league and the right level, it's a cool route to go.
So, baseball was your love. I read you would listen to games on the radio in your room, and you told your folks not to disturb you. I love watching games and game breakdowns. So, do you think your knowledge of the game helped with your baseball IQ when you became a catcher?
1,000%. Yeah, good question. Growing up, listening to games on the radio, developing a high understanding of the mental side of the game from a young age. Man, I could have retired early and became a coach and probably found my way through someone's minor league system by now. But um, absolutely, as a catcher, I mean, look, I was such a baseball nerd on the mental side of the game, man. I would do like drafts in class. I would write up mock lineups, like whole depth charts. I would do there. I remember one time in like fourth grade, I spent an entire day during class drafting every team's player for like 30 rounds worth of a draft. I filled up
Mm.
like half of a notebook. And I had like different themes for each team's draft approach. But I remember the Rockies. I was just like, draft a old bum who's already on the decline in his career and give him a lot of money. But yeah, it's a great question. Both as a catcher, ball player, filmmaker. Um, if I end up opening a youth baseball training facility someday, all these things were all factors that help. And they were. I actually have to take this. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah, I'll pause
Sorry,
it. So, was catching your favorite position?
that's a cool question. Every ball player's got a realistic version and a daydreamer version. Back when I was at an age where it's kind of like the best player on each team plays shortstop, I loved shortstop, and I put a lot of time into footwork, quick hands. I was smooth. I did not make errors. I had a lot of high baseball IQ plays, backing up positions and getting outs, stealing outs. Um, But yeah, by far, I enjoyed shortstop. But I wasn't fast, but I loved the outfield, left field, and by far the most fun position in my opinion.
hmm
Uh, But yeah, I was just good at catching. I got lucky on multiple teams where my bat kind of made my case and got me in the lineup, and then it was like, all right, where are we going to play? And I was utility on infield, outfield, corner infield, wherever catcher on multiple teams, and then catcher was kind of just the one that stuck, and I ended up putting enough time into it, and then you end up on a team where you're going to play every single day, but only at that position. It's like, all right, I'll put my whole year into catching, and at that point, you're a catcher. So 10 plus years later, it's all I know. But now that your age starts with a three, it's like the body just works a little differently. Like I can't do stuff I used to do.
Hmm. I mostly I haven't really gotten into catching. Like I don't see like the fun of it. My dad was a catcher and he's trying to push me, but I'm like, I don't really want to. So I'm mostly an outfielder myself, I would say.
Yeah, you got to be fast and you got to be able to hit and you got to be smart as an outfielder. Got to be smart as a catcher too, but you got so much less competition at the catching position. But then again, you got three outfield spots to fight for, whereas catcher is kind of just the only one. But
Hmm.
here's the thing, even when you're not the number one catcher, you're going to start a lot of games because the number one guy can't start every game, especially if you're on a team that has double headers. So, yeah. If you could be outfielder slash catcher, that's probably some value.
Yeah.
Maybe opens up another spot on the roster that he now doesn't have to carry a second catcher because the fourth outfielder is also the backup catcher. And then you're stealing starts in both spots. Oh, and then if anyone gets hurt at either spot, you're in too. So, but this is me thinking is more of where I've been the past year and a half of my career, which is platooning, sharing playing time, this and that. Most of my life, I've been on teams where I start. So it's different mindset, but depends what your goals are too.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're trying to try out for Team Israel, maybe consider going in as also as a catcher.
Yeah. I mean, I've caught before, like a few times, but not really like in games, just really in practice. So, when your playing career was winding down, you decided to follow your other passion, filmmaking. I love movies and might also want to start pursue film and production in college. So, how did you get your start?
Well, I had a few scholarship offers out of high school, and I turned them down and went to junior college in San Diego. It's a good league, good weather, cool school, good radio, film, and TV department. Um, I had a few surgeries my senior year of high school, so I lost a few scholarship opportunities. So that was kind of a good plan B. It was more like plan C, but it worked out great. I got to go back to my hometown and San Diego City College, baby, had a great radio, film, TV department, and I learned editing, videography. Starts from the basics on these analog cameras, and I mean, we were hardly even digital at that point. And just immersed myself in. I would buy like DVDs, even though the stuff was available on streaming, just so I could watch the director's commentaries and behind the scenes. And I remember I watched like The Dark Knight Rises with Christopher Nolan, and just every single opinion he had about the whole process of making that movie. I watched him go over it while doing it, and I was taking any videography job I could get my hands on, weddings, covering concerts for musicians, going on tours with rappers, music videos, real estate. And, I kind of understood the marketing side of videography and the storytelling side of film and TV. Worked on a few documentaries, did a tour documentary myself. So, I just lived that videographer life. And a videographer who's also very passionate about film and would be at the movie theaters once or twice a week, sometimes even alone. Um, just love stories, love movies, and eventually realized as much as I love videography, it's a skill set, it's a skill, it's a skill that can make me money. So is editing, but my real passion lies with film and TV and movies.
Hmm.
And that's what kind of transitioned me from videographer to film and TV producer. And I think that was always my biggest strength, other than editing with the videography, was also producing the content too, not just the shooting part. And I eventually learned, yeah, I'll miss it, but I can hire the videographer, still run the production, and then handle the edit. And that's kind of been my formula.
So, you love movies. We know you love movies. And your room kind of says it all. The thing right behind you, I've been wanting to talk about that, is the Infinity Gauntlet right there. I can see it. Are you a big Marvel guy?
It's been a rough few years, but yeah,
Hmm.
big MCU guy. I've got this like fake check. I don't want to call it a fake check. I call it my visualization check. But it's written out to Alex Bentley, $3 million, acting services, 3 picture deal, signed by Kevin Feige. I had a whole graphic designer do it and everything. I've been visualizing being a part of that for years now. And I've put a lot of time into baseball and producing over acting here recently, but some of that's going to change here. Getting back into it with the motion capture, with the acting classes, dropping some weight, getting back in shape. So there, and it's a good time for me to have been in it with baseball because we had COVID, the strike, and now it's just awfully slow in Hollywood. So it was a great time for me to get to live out some more of my dreams as a baseball player and do that one last time here in 2025. And then we go hard and book a role as a Marvel villain next. And hopefully get on deck made and in theaters. And that's the dream, is to make something available to all baseball fans that's an authentic story. You know, baseball people are hungry for baseball content. A lot of football movies, a lot of basketball movies, not a lot of baseball stuff. I actually have the same hat.
Oh,
Yeah,
you do?
nice.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So speaking of on deck, let's talk about that real quick. So, what was like the start of the filming process and the making of On Deck, and how is the transition now from TV show to movie like?
Good questions. It started when I took a cameraman and the rough draft of my PDF pitch deck for the idea to the 2019 MLB winter meetings, and we just walked around and shot footage. And it was downtown San Diego, and we got some really good stuff. Harold Reynolds, Jenny Finch, Adam Jones, and I was like, man, there's like major excitement around this idea from like the biggest stars in the game. They want to be a part of this. And then I was just off and running with that. I worked my butt off. I invested the last few dollars I had in savings. I spent some of my unemployment money on this. Like I went all in, 18-hour days, 6, 7 days a week. And at first, this was just something to create and give out and put out on Instagram for free because there was no MLB. Remember 2020, the season was so delayed. This was just, here's some MLB content for all you hungry MLB fans. And then before you know it, I got Dodger Stadium involved. I got Tatis involved. I got meetings at NBC. We're talking to someone at Hulu. Like it just took off. Tatis was in it. Tatis got really big out of nowhere that year. Like all the press around Tatis kind of like trickled down into generating extra buzz around the show too. So then we started getting brands involved, better and bigger actors involved. Like it just transformed. And that it went from something I was going to give out for free to, okay, it's episodic with episodes and a series. Let's try pitching it. So I've been pitching it to all these TVs and TV networks and streaming services and potential buyers, but TV doesn't really get made unless it's made by the TV studio or the network. There isn't an indie TV the way there is indie films. A movie, if you have the idea, the script, the money, you go get a director, you hire some big name actors, and you go shoot this thing. So there isn't too much of a transition other than the shackles are off, and now we as producers are very free to go make it, which is what it started as. That's what got us all the momentum. I was getting interviews and press and brands and bigger people involved. I had MLB players DMing me, people I grew up watching out of nowhere, people I didn't reach out to that saw the stuff and reached out like, this is sick. So we have something special. It's a bummer the market didn't recognize it, you know, but I also didn't get a chance to talk to Apple, Amazon, or Netflix yet, and they were my top 3 targets for this. All 3 of them have reasons, baseball specific, that this would be a automatic easy hit for them. Um, but yeah, that's the journey of On Deck. But I don't think there's too much of a transition turning this into a movie from a show. I just think we have a lot more creative and financial control, and I think the On Deck's momentum is going to completely take off again now the way it did in 2021. It was booming, and it will be again here soon.
Is the movie done?
No,
No?
we're going to shoot it differently now that we know it's a movie. But
Okay.
before we couldn't even shoot. It was a show. So we had to wait for a streaming service or whatnot to come in and say, okay, we like it. We want to develop it. We're going to hire these writers to write these episodes. Now we just go make it. So it's the decision we made in the past 60 days. And we're just now starting to get back to it. But the team's back together from 2 years ago, and We're no longer waiting on other people. We're
I'm
now
excited for this movie.
in control of this. Yeah, it's gonna be a banger. Whether it's Redbox, Netflix, movie theaters, I think Hollywood's gonna get rocked and shocked by how much the baseball world shows out for this movie.
Do we have a ETA yet or no?
Uh, Probably 12 months or 1 year or 2 years from like right now. We want to put it out right after the World Series.
Okay, so around like no like this time next year.
Late October 2025 or October 2026. Yeah. That's
Okay.
that's the goal, but it could change.
So, between like all that hype in like 2019, 2020, how did you guys like get like Fernando Tatis Jr., like Adam Jones and like all these people? Like I heard you guys were at the winter meetings, but was there like a way like did you DM them and say like, "Hey, can you do this for us?"
I listened to this audio book one time. It was like how to bring value to VIPs. I forget exactly what it was called, but I was able to approach them in a way that wasn't just, "Hey, I'm a fan. Here's how you can help me. I wish you would do this for me. Hey, will you please follow me?" It wasn't any crap like that. I reached out in as few words as possible, usually with the audio recording if I was doing it via Instagram, and um, like I sent Tatis like a 12-second audio recording pitching him the idea, and he's like, "I'm listening," and it was off from there. I explained it to him, and he was down. He didn't even let me pay him back for the Uber, like nothing. He was just down to do it. It was cool. Like he understood I was a young up and coming filmmaker, minimal budget. He understood the vision. He understood the project. He knows it's going to be sick when we're done with it, and he was happy to be a part of it. And I'm forever grateful. And it turned into a cool friendship too. But
Hmm.
for most of the other people, it was in person. I'm smooth enough talking to people that I was able to approach them, explain the vision, tell them how cool it would be if they'd be down to be involved, and how quickly we could shoot their cameo scene. And I compared it to Ballers and Entourage, which are two similar shows that they understood the references to, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool. I see what you're doing. Yeah, yeah, I'm down to help you out real quick." And then other people like Mookie Betts who got involved was just politicking, networking, being relentless for, every 100 no's you get a yes, but then that yes finally leads down a path that helps bring the vision to life and greenlights the project. So we're getting there. We're getting there, man. If I knew then what I know now about how hard it is to do this, I might not have ever started. But now that I started, once I get this one made, I'll have a completed start to finish film or show on my resume, and hopefully getting the projects done from there will be easier. I got a lot of movie ideas I want to do, only two TV shows. So two TV shows are a nightmare in my opinion, but films are very doable, and anyone can go make a movie with the right script and the right passion and vigor and vision and relentless persistence.
So, besides the shows,
And money. And money. You need money.
mhm,
Lots of money.
mhm. Besides the shows, you've been in other movies like with Tom Brady, and you told me before the interview that you're with in a commercial with Randy Johnson, the big unit. You were catching him. So, what was it like catching one of the best pitchers to ever take the mound?
Ichiro too, bro. I did a cool Japanese beer commercial where I got to play a Seattle Mariner with Ichiro
Oh,
last
I did
year.
not know that.
Johnson was cool, man. He's pretty recluse, stays to himself. He's funny, man. He's a good actor. That was a little league mound, so
Hmm.
it was pretty close.
My mom, she wants to know, were any birds harmed in the making of that commercial?
Yes, actually, no, I'm kidding. It's funny. That's like the first thing people have told me when I mentioned the commercial, and I'm proud of the memory and baseball IQ. Everyone remembering that. Did a TV show as a Padres player, so I've gotten to play a big leaguer in like 3 or 4 different things now. It's been pretty cool. I got pretty close with this show called Field of Dreams. They were doing a remake of the movie, and I think I was down to me and like one other actor, maybe a couple others. I'm not sure, but I had my callbacks with all the producers at the NBC office, and I was the only one with any like legit playing experience, and they needed a guy who could look like a real ball player. So I had that role in the bag. And that damn show got canceled, man. I was heartbroken. I thought I was about to have like a career change in series regular. Still working hard for that series regular, but yeah, man, it's been cool. The Tom Brady movie was awesome. 80 for Brady. I got to work with Sally Field, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Rita Moreno, all Oscar winners. Tom Brady too went to theaters, got to do the red carpet with all them, still getting residual checks from it. So that was one of the cooler
That's awesome.
jobs, if you call it. I'd have paid to do that, but one of the coolest jobs of my life. That one and the Hulu show, Pam and Tommy. I got to do a scene with Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky in the Marvel universe,
Hmm.
and he actually lifts me up with the arm that's his metal arm in the MCU. So while we're shooting the scene, I'm geeking out in my head like, "Oh, that's Bucky's arm! Play it cool, play it cool." But yeah, man, it's been cool. The Hollywood's exciting when it's good to you, and it's phases. You're up, you got ups and downs, but it's good to always have baseball or a video business or something that generates you money and fulfills you on the side, so you can also maintain that Hollywood dream without burning out or going broke.
So I have two more baseball specific questions. So I'm a freshman now, and I'm about to have my high school baseball tryouts. So what can I look forward going into that?
What can you look forward to, or what are some things you should keep in mind going into that to have a good tryout? What do you mean?
The second thing you said, like.
Okay. I would say just prepare enough that when that day comes, there are no nerves. I mean, it's good to have nerves. It means you're excited, you're passionate, but the worst nerves are the kind that come from a lack of preparation. It's like, uh-oh, and then you're in your head, that guy made a good throw, that ball was launched, like this dude worked harder than me. Screw all that. You know what kind of player you are, you know what kind of player you're working hard to become. So when's the tryout? How much time you got between now and then? A couple months?
About 2 months.
2 months? Yeah, bro, you got time to like go find a facility nearby, do some sled work, get some agility work in, functional speed training. You want to play outfield, you got to find somewhere to get some fly balls and some repetitions in. I was just watching this cool video of Jay Buhner and Ken Griffey talking about long toss, but they would put their hat a few feet in front and try to make low throws that one hop into the hat, right? Because you don't want to be airmailing your cutoff man. You want to throw throws that are at the cutoff man, going through the cutoff man in a way that if he does not choose to catch that ball, it'll still one or two hop your target and get to the bag. Speed, um, driving the ball, just working on barrels. Find somewhere to go hit a lot, bro. Find somewhere to go face live pitching. Find somewhere in case your coach want to test you where you go face live pitching against a junior that's about to be a senior or a senior. Go face some varsity arms. Go get completely overwhelmed facing live ABs. Like, is your goal to make JV or is your goal to make the varsity team?
I mean, I would love to make varsity, and that's ultimately my goal and what I'm striving for.
You have an idea of what you need to do. There's a book that I'm almost done with called Breeding a Big Leaguer, and I'll circle back with you when it's done. But it's basically, my dream was to make the major leagues. It didn't happen. I got obsessed and looked back on every reason why it didn't happen. This book is a compilation of all my lessons and failures and what to do instead. Basically, it's a book for parents to read and know how to help guide their kid to be the best player they can be and give them the best shot of making their dream of making the major leagues happen. So when it's done, I'll let you know. But I got interviews with some big names in there and guys that got drafted in the first round and understand what it takes to get there. And a book that I think will be super helpful for a lot of people.
So I have one more real question. So here I'm gonna make you think. So
What,
I'm
the other one's been fake? What do you mean? One more real question?
I'm at like deep questions because I have like the rapid fire questions like
All right,
next.
hit me. Let's do it. My sandwich is getting cold. No, I'm playing.
So I'm 15 right now. I'm getting good grades in school. So if you could talk to your 15 year old self right now, what advice would you give him?
I would say it's possible if you really want to make it happen, but you need to become twice as obsessed as you think. And basically, yes, there are times to go have fun with friends and make memories, but you need to prioritize your diet, your sleep, your rest, your muscle building, your BP hours, your live at bats. You need to be getting a shitload of live at bats against good pitchers. Increase your repetition, your discipline. Like if I knew now what I know then and I could talk to my 15-year-old self, he would make the big leagues. I would also say have surgery now. Don't wait until your senior year. That screwed me. Um, there's like three pitches I took in my career that I'm 1000% I would have barreled that cost me a couple games and those ones eat me alive even 10 years later. But yeah, pretty much I would have said, look, if you really want to be a big leaguer, it's possible. And you don't have to give up your happiness. You just have to sevenfold your discipline, your repetitions, and your obsessiveness. And it doesn't matter that you like when I lived in the Middle East from age 12 to 16, I missed out on 1,000 at bats worth of travel ball. And I came back and I was still launching bombs and hitting fourth on every team I was on. So I felt like, oh man, I'm already so far behind. And now I need to have surgery. And now I'm a 19-year-old freshman in college. To me, it just always felt like the odds were so against me. It's like, yeah, at most I'll have a cool indie ball career. And that was kind of what happened. It was just a really, really cool indie ball career with bananas in Europe and Mexico and Dominican and now Japan. But like I've been blessed. I've played in sold out stadiums. I've played in countries chanting other languages again. Like I played the international ball. I played in Italy. It's been a ride, and I'm blessed and grateful. But yeah, I think the core thing I would have told my 15-year-old self is any reason you think you're not good enough right now or that there's some other kid better than you, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's what you do over time. What ball player are you going to be when you're 23, 24, and most of the guys after college are fizzling out? Are you going to be one of the ones who gets a job? Are you then going to go to indie ball and dominate that indie ball league and get signed as a minor league free agent if you don't already get drafted? Like at 15, you have time for all the fun stuff, dating, going out with friends, all that's fine. But if you just find windows of time constantly, winter, holidays, summer breaks, on vacation, to just get a little bit better every single day, like it's not too late for you to not get onto a single like max preps or flow baseball, like not a single ranking, travel ball players, top 10 commitments, just none of that. Just how good of a ball player are you when you graduate after your senior year? I think you'd be shocked how good you could be and how good you could get between now and then. It's just a matter of like, do you love it that much and are you that obsessed with it? And if not, that's cool too. You could just get pretty good and be pretty solid and fly out to the wall every now and then on a ball that might have been gone if you'd have worked a little harder. But you'll still get your bombs, you'll still get your fun, your glory, you'll still get all the perks of playing ball. But it's like that little bit of extra work all the time. I would also tell my 15-year-old self to read a book called The Slight Edge. I didn't read it until I was like 24. And I didn't really learn how to hit until I was like 26. I just now kind of have an idea on how to hit. It just my body doesn't always do what my brain is telling it to do. So, but that's cool. I'm at the end of my career. I'm not getting repetitions the way I'm telling you to if you're pursuing that, or the way I was when I was in college and after college looking for a job playing ball. But now there's so many more resources too. It's like as long as you can weed out the distractions and be disciplined, you have every resource on how to become as good a ball player as you can possibly be.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is great advice for me. I'm definitely gonna take that into what's up?
Just an opinion from a washed up JUCO bandit, like
No,
just
but
my
no, that was great.
take what works for you.
The Slight Edge. That's what the book is called.
Yeah, Jeff Olson, The Slight Edge.
Okay. I'm gonna look up that book and see what it's about. Thank you for that. That's just great advice for me and anyone listening. So, we've reached the last section of the interview, the not so rapid fire questions. You can answer with as much or as little info as you want. So you ready?
Yeah, don't get me canceled with this, bro.
So, which place has the best food? San Diego, Mexico, Israel, or Savannah?
Definitely not Savannah. Look, Mexico has like some bomb stuff and some fresh food, but I gotta give it overall. And San Diego has some really diverse options, but Israel has the best food. There's stuff there that'll knock your socks off for like
What's your favorite
eight
dish?
bucks. My main go-to, and there's so many, but the main go-to is a shawarma wrap. But
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing like what you get in the States or even in like Turkey or Europe or Istanbul. Like it's not the doner kebab. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
The only place that even has anything similar is probably New York and LA.
So, can you cook?
Shawarma, baby, shawarma, like a real
Mhm.
shawarma with like
The
hummus and the
yeah,
hot sauce.
the Avengers they discovered shawarma.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that was. Oh, that's actually my friend's spot in LA, and they
Mm,
shot that scene like 3 days before the premiere of the movie. That was like the last minute addition into that film.
mm-hmm.
Cool.
So, can you cook? And if so, what's your favorite dish to make?
Yes, I can cook. I take pride in it. Although, like my last three meals have been ass. I'm not gonna lie. I was distracted and rushed. My favorite thing to make is called malawach. It's like an Israeli Sunday morning breakfast food. Put a little sour cream, a little omelet, a little tomato sauce with jalapeno in the middle, and roll it up. But it's like a dough, and you just put in the saucepan with a little olive oil for 10-15 minutes, get nice and crispy on both sides, and open it up and turn it into a couple little Middle Eastern breakfast taquito burrito thingies.
If you could remake any movie, what would it be?
Am I remaking it because I love it and I want to see a new version of this, or am I remaking it because it's ass and they fumbled it and now I have a chance to fix it?
Well, I mean, whatever,
I'm gonna
whatever.
do the first one because I am actually working on a remake. It's remember Like Mike, the basketball movie,
I
where
don't
the
think I've seen
kid in the
that.
I think you're too young. So Lil Bow Wow is in an orphanage and he gets a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers and they give him Michael Jordan's abilities and he goes to the
Mm.
NBA at 10 years old. I'm making the baseball version of that with Mike Trout.
Oh,
We have a lot of pieces lined up. This is ready to go. The only thing we don't have yet is Mike Trout. So,
mm,
but I hear he's free. I don't think he's played in like 2 years, so he should be available.
mm.
We'll see. I mean that respectfully.
Mm. So,
If
besides On Deck, will we be able to see you in any upcoming movies or shows?
I just played Jesus in a film called Inside the Tomb. But no, you're calling me out. I need to get on my game. I haven't been booking much acting wise. In my defense, there was a strike, and then I booked out with all my agents, and I was in Savannah all year. So
Hmm.
nothing right now. But I think I smell a booking coming. I think I got something here pretty soon. So
Hmm. And lastly, what is your favorite baseball movie of all time?
great question. Here, I can't give you a favorite, but here's what I'll do for you. I'll give you a top 10.
Whoa, okay. I'm gonna try to read that. Is that Mr. Baseball on top?
Yeah, we got Mr. Baseball,
Rookie of the Year,
Rookie of the Year,
Sugar,
Sugar, great baseball movie. Of course, The Sandlot, Bill Durham, The Rookie, Major
what?
League,
Mm, Field of Dreams.
possibly the best one of all. Field of Dreams, Pride of Yankees with Gary Cooper playing Lou Gehrig, Eight Men Out with Charlie Sheen and John Cusack, $1 Million Arm, and the real best
Moneyball.
baseball movie of all time, Moneyball.
Hmm. I think I've seen 8 of those 10.
Which ones have you not seen?
Bull Durham and Pride of the Yankees.
Okay, both good watches. You should check them out.
Mm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those. But those are 10 great options. I think my three are Field of Dreams, Sandlot, and Major League.
Good calls.
Mm. So that's it. We we finally did it, Alex. That was a long time in the making. So thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to add or ask me?
Let me know when you make the varsity team here in a couple months.
All right, I got you.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you having me. Keep doing this. It's a fun thing you got going, and go check out that book, The Slight Edge.
Mm.
It's a good one.
Thank you, sir. This was awesome. Think you'll have a role for me on the show if it gets picked up or the movie now?
We can talk after a couple acting classes, unless you just want to be a baseball extra, in which case I got you.
All right. You guys can follow Alex on Instagram at Alex Bentley. And you can help my show by subscribing to Baseball Podcasts Are Fun on YouTube and Spotify and telling a friend. And going to at Baseball Podcasts Are Fun on Instagram. Please check back next week for an all new guest. Until then, that was Alex Bentley. I'm Grayson Knight, and this was Baseball Podcasts Are Fun. Don't forget to swing for the fences. See ya.